too late now. Listen,
Too many power strips in the way.
the wind is whipping out there.
It's whipping.
It's whipping.
Flipping.
And we're going to talk about ways for you to not get blowed away by your competition in 2025.
Ways that you can whip your social media competitors.
Ooh, yeah. Maybe you can blow your competitors away.
There we go.
I said blowed earlier. That's not the
blowed.
word.
It's funny. I used to
blown.
It is, but I used to use the phrase "blowed out."
Oh.
You know, if something like went bad or died or something like, that blowed out.
Yeah.
I mean, I still say it, but
Is that proper English?
it's Appalachian proper.
Oh, okay. There we go. Then we're in there.
I like to consider myself a sophisticated Appalachian proper.
We are safe. We are safe.
We're
there.
certainly safe. Certainly safe.
Listen, on
Good
this
morning.
note, though, if we're going to talk about some video usage, right? If you want to elevate your video,
Yes.
just a little bit, right? Give it that extra little cherry, right? Atop
Need to go up.
atop your Sunday. Yeah, you know, you got to elevate that note. Yeah. But if you want to elevate your video just a little bit, we've got a LUT.
Ooh. Some would consider it a filter.
Yeah, it's basically a filter, right? You can put it on top of your footage. I throw it on top of my iPhone footage
Put it on everything.
all the time.
Everything.
Just elevates it just a little bit, right? Differentiate yourself just a smidge. But anyways, we have
It's our blue collar LUT.
We do. We have a LUT you can download. There'll be a link to it in the description. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything.
Not a dime.
Not even a penny. Free today is like how many
Unheard of.
Yeah, how many other things are free?
You've got a couple things. You got the blue collar LUT, and then you got the free plan of salvation, and that's about it.
There you go. That's it. But if you
Everything
want
else is
to,
going to cost you.
yeah, if you want to elevate your footage just a bit, throw this filter on top of it. Let us know.
Yeah.
Right. Give us a shout out. Like,
Yeah, I'd love to see what you put it on.
that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. But
Tag
there'll be a
us,
link.
Send it to us.
Be a link in the description. Go check that out. It's our blue collar LUT.
Yeah.
But what we are going to talk about today, truly joked about it, right? It's like don't get blowed away by your competition. But basically, these are the best ways to start using video in 2025. Maybe you're
Or
a business.
today, like literally today, whenever you're listening to it.
Well, but maybe you're a business who maybe in the past has not had to start using video.
Right.
Like you've built this successful book of business, referrals are coming in, word of mouth, all those things, but maybe you're starting to see a dip in that because there is this shift, right, with buyers.
Maybe some of your competitors are utilizing it.
Maybe they are.
bit of
And you're
FOMO.
like, look, I want to start. I really want to start using video, but I have no clue where to start because, I mean, the word video, it's only 5 letters, but by gosh, there's a lot to it.
Yeah, it
right?
encompasses
Like,
a
it can
lot
be
of
a
things.
lot of different things to a lot of different people. So we're going to simplify that today. We're going to talk about the best ways to use video. And the first one is like my favorite by far because we all like to do things that matter, right? And we talk about helping and moving the needle, and that's video testimonials.
Ooh, love
Video
testimonials.
testimonials. Very few websites these days don't include text testimonials. Right. They'll take their Google reviews, they'll take their reviews, and they'll throw them into text format. And you can read those on a website for whatever service or product you're looking at. And those are great. Those really are great. They used to be even better, but now there's a generation of people, and I'm starting to kind of be one of them, right? With all the AI stuff and
A little bit
whatnot.
of skepticism here.
I am. I'm like, dude, is Billy G even a person?
Yeah.
Right, because I have no proof.
It's so easy to fake things now.
It is.
And I'm the same way with testimonials. The great thing about a text testimonial is you've got it. It's there. And hopefully
It was truthful.
Hopefully it's truthful. Hopefully it's real. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
But even then, like me reading a testimony, I'm like, yeah, right. You either paid this person, they're a bot, or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, my connection to them is very, very non-existent at that point, right? It's literally I'm reading text on a screen. And
Which
so
I say all that, and it's kind of funny. I literally gave a text testimonial to a business the other day. So.
No, I mean, I leave Google reviews. I leave product reviews,
Yeah,
and
that's
that's
Google
basically
review.
what these are.
Right.
And they're important to have. But
Yeah.
if you're wanting to take something that you already have and start using it in video format, that's where video testimonials come in. That's where video testimonials come in. And the reason why they are so much more effective than reading a text testimonial is literally because that person, the viewer, the visitor on your website, if that's where it's listed, the viewer on your
They're a
website
real human.
sees a real human
Yes.
saying their testimonial.
Well, not only saying, it's not necessarily even the words that are important in a video testimonial, but it's how they say it. And I'm going to give a very specific example. One of our clients the past couple of years, Strong Mom.
Yeah.
Every delivery that we have with them has included testimonials.
Right.
And you can correct me if I'm wrong, Jared, and they can correct me if I'm wrong too. But if I remember properly, from the first year that we shot with them to the second year, they doubled their revenue.
Yeah.
Doubled their revenue. Now, were we 100% of the reason? Absolutely not.
No. They're doing a lot of things right.
They're doing a lot of things right. They're great people. They have a great business model. They have great services for the people that they are serving.
Yep.
But I would like to think we had a small piece in that with the fact that they are getting those real people on camera.
Yep.
And again, it's not necessarily the words that they're saying, but it's how they're saying it. Some of those testimonials are so powerful.
Yeah, they're heartfelt.
Right, they're heartfelt. And specifically in that niche, in that genre of postpartum mothers, the way that you're able to get into the story of some of these testimonials and the emotion behind them and some of the things that factored into why they joined Strong Mom and why they're encouraging others to, that's where video is so much more powerful than text.
Well, versus the exact same sentence being stated on text.
I can't see somebody crying through text.
Well, I mean, even you think of literal like text messages.
Right.
Like how much emotion, you can't tell if the person was being sarcastic. You can't tell if they were being funny. Like you can't tell any of those things.
That's why it's tough to argue through text too, because I can't gauge your tone.
Yeah. That's a good point. You get to see and feel all that with a video testimonial. And so if you're a business, you exist because you solved someone's problem.
Yes.
Right? Your product, your service solves a problem. That's how business is.
Yeah, and you did it so well that they're willing to get in front of a camera for you.
Absolutely. So turn a few of those text testimonials into video testimonials.
All day.
Start there.
All day.
You're going to see great results from that.
If you do nothing else in 2025 with video.
Yes.
Do testimonials.
Yeah, upgrade that that testimonial section. Get those into video format.
Agreed.
You will thank yourself for that for sure.
Next,
the next one is, and this kind of hurts me just a bit because I am a photographer, like at the core, like right. That's still my first love is photo.
You do love photo.
Still
I
photo.
love it too.
Still medium, but I cannot argue that a photo is more dynamic than a video. And so the next one is banner videos, right? And what we consider a banner video, if you're not familiar with that, is the video that plays passively when someone visits your homepage, right? It's usually at the very top. Maybe it's behind your business name, your logo, whatever, but it's just playing in the background. It's a product showcase. It's a service showcase. It's whatever, but it is visual video that's changing.
It's moving. It has movement.
It has movement, as opposed to even a slideshow of photos. Again, not as dynamic, right? So there's tons of statistics to back this up. If you have video on your website, your traffic increases, they stay longer, and every second that they stay longer on your website increases the chance that they become a customer.
Yeah, they follow through.
Right? I mean, if your average stay time on your website is 30 seconds, but because you start adding video in there, that bumps up to 60 seconds.
That's a good thing.
That's a good thing. Yeah. People are spending more time learning about you, right? Which is can further move them along in your customer journey there.
I was going to say that the big point with people spending time on your website is you are building trust.
Yeah.
You are building trust with a person, whether you're product, service, whatever. Somebody has to trust you before they do business with you. Like, and trust. It's the three that we talk about in video all the time. They have to know you, like you, and trust you.
Right.
The website, the more time they spend on it, the better.
Well, the cool thing with banner videos, as opposed to like a gallery of products or past work in still form, someone has to manually go to that and cycle through, like one at a time, the photos that you've got versus this is passively happening.
Yes.
They literally visited your website and they're starting to see this video passively with zero input. So again, a lot of variety that you can show there, and you can show off a lot of your work there. So banner videos.
Agreed. Very powerful.
Very powerful. The next one, this was one that you brought up. They used to be a lot more prevalent.
Yeah.
Now in 2025, they need to be coupled with other things.
They do. It's kind of like a sidecar now.
Yeah, it's kind of like a sidecar. It's kind of like it's a brand video, a story piece. Basically, you think of your About Us section. This is About Us in video form.
It's the same approach that we take with testimonials.
Yeah.
I think versus having a text-based About Us, And there's something to be said for efficiency. I can probably read that about us.
Well, you probably need it for SEO purposes too.
Right.
Like this stays. They both coexist.
Right, they coexist. But I think again, if I'm wanting to learn the character that I'm potentially going to be interacting with, I want to see that character.
Yeah.
So this is where story pieces are pretty powerful. Again, and you and I, we've talked with mentors in the industry who we trust very, very bigly. I can say bigly.
Yeah.
Like Mark Bone. Yeah, Mark Bone, Mike Del Monte. Like those guys will tell you stories now, they do have to be coupled with some other things.
Yeah.
But they're still powerful.
Yeah, they're still powerful.
When used properly.
Well, they used to be standalone pieces and they could generate leads and really help grow your business. But now, again, you've got to kind of be doing a lot of different things. And so,
the story piece is just who you are, what you do, why I should care.
Yeah.
That's the three things that piece should encompass.
And where this would live, again, is on your About Us or your Why Us, however you verbalize that on your webpage, on your website. But also, if you're on social media, all the social media platforms allow you to pin a video or pin a post at the top of your, even if you posted it a year ago, it's still the first thing someone sees. And so like this is a good chance to put that on there, because if someone stumbles upon your social media or they stumble upon your website, they need to be able to figure out quickly who you are, what do you do, and honestly, why are you the choice? Like why
should
are
I care?
you better than the competitor? Because you're not the only person who does this.
Agreed.
So yeah, that story piece, again, think about the About Us, get that into video form.
Yep.
They're very powerful.
Agreed.
And here's the really cool thing with all these video things. You do them once.
They're evergreen.
And they're evergreen.
Yeah, they're evergreen. Unless your mission changes or unless you need a re-up of clientele for testimonials, like that's the only two times that you would really need to even do anything differently. Other than that, they're evergreen pieces.
Yeah, you talk about return, right, on your investment. You invest and do it once.
Right.
And then you just reap the benefits from it from the future.
Agreed.
The next one was also one that you mentioned. You've kind of called it recaps.
Yeah, recaps and outreaches.
Yeah.
And really all that is and I want to kind of preface this is not a braggadocious approach, but I do think that it's important as a business to show folks what you're doing in the community, whether that be in your immediate community of like literally your town. You know, maybe you're helping give out turkeys on Thanksgiving. Actually, we have a business in town that does that, and I think this year they gave away 500 turkeys. But people need to see that because what that does for your brand, again, is it builds trust. Yeah, it builds trust. And I love seeing when companies, you take Summers Taylor, for example, Tommy's Plumbing, again, businesses that we know in this area that are outreaching to the community. I just think it's a good look for the brand. Yeah. Or if you're not doing a direct community approach, maybe it's an industry approach or an industry recap of, well, again, specifically Summers Taylor. We did a project with one of their clients or one of their services this year that highlighted Summers Taylor's new training program. Yeah. So they're at that point in time giving back to the industry. Sure. They're giving back to and doing outreach to the industry to help educate new drivers, new operators. I think that stuff looked really good. Yeah. So recapping those events. If you're out doing a turkey trot with the community, if you're out, educating the industry, those things look great for your business. They do. They definitely paint you in a good light. Yes. And it's things that you're already doing, but a lot of people really aren't aware of it. Like I can't tell you the number of busineses we've sat down with and they're like, yeah, we actually give a whole lot away to charity every year. Why aren't we showing that? It's like, well, why don't we know that? Yeah. Well, we've not found a good way to get that out there or whatever. And the fear is that the fear is they don't want the audience to take it as a braggadocious way. It's kind of a vanity thing, I guess you could say. Well, that's true. But a lot of your businesses are local, and people know you're doing it anyways. They want to help those. As what is it they say? As the tide rises, all the ships rise, or something along those lines, right? If they give back to the community that has given to them, it helps everybody. It helps everybody. And two, like it could be. Well, and it's great just for archival purposes. Well, that's what I was going to say. It's kind of even like, how, which we didn't do one last year, but we normally will do, we'll update our video reel. We'll update our cinematographer's reel, right? That used to be your portfolio. Yeah. If you were like trying to get hired on by a marketing agency, you would send your reel, right? This is my portfolio. Basically,
this could be your year in review.
Yeah.
A bunch of projects. If nothing else, it's just, again, great to have for archival purposes.
I was going to say there's certainly times like in mine and your business where I don't remember everything that we've done through a year.
Yeah.
So to visually see that and be reminded of like, oh yeah, I remember being on set there. I remember being with this group and the impact that it had on me. Those are things that, again, I think are very, very important to at least document for internal purposes.
Well, it's kind of funny you mentioned that because we're at the time now, right? It's December. It's the end of a calendar year, and Spotify does their Wrapped.
Yeah, they're Spotify Wrapped.
I can't tell you how many screenshots of people's top songs, artists, whatever it is that they've wrapped that they've been showing. Well, Spotify is like, look, this is what you spent your year listening to on our platform.
13 seconds of each song.
Well, whatever it was.
Actually, our buddy Kyle shared that on Threads. I thought it was funny. Shout out Kyle Benjamin.
Yeah, he was talking about all the music you've tried to use in video, right?
Shout out KB on that one.
That one was funny. But yeah, I mean, it's fun to have for archival purposes to look back on and see what you did that year.
Yeah.
You know, some years are harder than others. Some years are better than others. I mean, it's just one of those things where if you have it, you can always look back at. So
you can. Absolutely.
Very fun there. And the last one, honestly, you just need to start using social media.
Yeah.
Start embracing the ever-changing world of social media. It's fast-paced.
It is fast-paced.
It's fast-paced. It's constantly changing, but consistently, if you produce good videos, it's rewarded on the platforms.
It's certainly rewarded, and I would say this, and we've experienced this on the local level, and I would say this is probably happening globally as well, if I were to guess, but so many of the historical ways of advertising and getting your name out there are slowly dying.
Yeah.
I know here locally, our local newspaper, it's been loved for millions of years here in Greenville, Tennessee.
Right.
But now they're having a big, I'm going to call it an exodus of clientele just because that's not the way people are consuming anymore. So thankfully for them, I mean, they've started to adapt a little bit. Now they're online.
Yeah.
So they're now putting their daily news online as well because they've realized too, like, hey, young kids aren't getting the paper. Yeah. They're not reading magazines. They are getting their information through the phone.
Yeah.
So I would say to a business, especially wanting to grow in 2025, you've got to start utilizing social media.
Yeah.
Unless you're just an expert in-person networker.
Right.
You've got to utilize it. It's the quickest and cheapest way to advertise.
Well, I mean, literally you can do paid ads, but you don't have to.
Right.
It's still the best way to increase your reach. Reach new eyeballs, reach new audiences, is through the free stuff on social media. Yeah. And the best way to do that is to use video right now.
Yeah. And you and I have talked about this. I prefer, if we're talking to Garrett prefers being in person talking to people.
Right.
But I can only get to so many people in a day.
That's true.
Versus if I make one post on social media, it can get to hundreds, thousands, even millions, depending on your size.
Yeah, whatever.
In one singular, hour or something like that. So certainly more effective, especially if you're trying to reach a larger pool of individuals.
Well, and so, we titled this whole episode is basically people who want to start using video but haven't. Yeah. And so when I blanketly say start using video and social media, okay, cool. What does that mean? Yeah. Well, we had a past episode,
the previous episode,
where we went into a lot more detail on all of these things, but I'll give you the quick hitters.
Yeah, recap.
I'll give you the quick hitters for starting to use social media and video. Time lapses. Start using time lapses because time lapses are very low friction.
Barrier of entry.
Yeah, like you've got to do very little.
Yep. Set up a camera, hit record.
Set up a camera and record. Time elapsing. Yeah. That's all it is, right? So that means if you're a business and you are digging footers at a house today, set up a time lapse.
Let's see that.
Yeah. Set up a time lapse. Set up a camera over there on the side.
Phone.
Hit record.
Whatever.
Let it record for an hour, whatever it is. People love time lapses. Yeah. And that's just another way where a new set of audiences can become aware of your business and how you solve problems.
Agreed.
And eventually, probably maybe be a customer.
Agreed.
So time lapse is the next one from that episode is behind the scenes.
Yep.
Behind the scenes. And time lapse is basically a look at that. But
it's a way.
It's a way to show someone, you think of your favorite movie, right? They will constantly release behind the scenes cuts after the fact.
Yep.
Showing how it was made. This scene was filmed here, and I didn't realize I had all those things. It's these things where people never get to see unless they're part of your team.
Yeah.
And so you're just kind of letting them see under the hood, behind the scenes.
A day in the life.
A day in the life. There you go. The next one was really simple too. Like film the simple actions.
Yeah.
The simple actions that you do.
Making
the things you do every day. Like if you're in the business.
Emails. Writing in your journal.
Maybe you have a team meeting every day. Set up a camera over there on the side. Let that record for a couple of minutes, right? As you're doing your team meeting. Yep. And then all you got to do at that point is
write a caption.
Post it to social media. Hey, we had a great team meeting today. We talked about this, and this. We do this every day.
Whatever.
All those things. The next one is voiceover. Voiceover. Oh my goodness.
You don't even have to be on camera for that.
You don't have to be on camera, but the added benefit of this is you get to inject your personality a bit, right? Yep. People get to hear your voice.
It goes beyond the text on screen and the captions and things like that.
Your voice is guiding the viewer along this video journey, right? And so you can be funny in there. You can be goofy in there. You can be whatever. But
come crochet a toboggan with me.
There you go. You get to tell your viewer at that point exactly what you would like them to learn from viewing this video. And so, voiceover is a good way to not speak to a camera because that's intimidating and still use video. And the next one, the last one of that episode was point of view, POV.
Yeah, POV.
Everybody loves POV.
Yeah.
Everybody
They get to be
POV.
Your eyes.
Yes.
They get to be your eyes.
You think it's boring because you do it every day, all day long. But guess what? The viewer of that video probably doesn't do that job.
It's interesting, too.
It's interesting to them. So show your POV. That means mounting a camera. If you're an excavator operator, maybe you...
I get sucked into crab fishermen POVs, watching them sort through the crabs as they come out of the traps and everything. I can watch that for days.
Really?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's proof right there. How boring is that to most people, right? You think about the task of separating crabs, yet here we go.
You get a couple squids in there from time to time, and some eels and some wolf fish. Like there's some drama in crab fishing.
Well, I didn't even know.
You might get blowed off the boat by a big old wave.
There you go, though. But that's proof.
I get sucked in.
That's proof. People love POVs.
That and the Barnacle Chronicles. If you know, you know.
I do not YK. But so those are the quick recaps of ways that you can start using video and social media. And honestly, you can be doing all of these together.
Yeah.
But even if you don't want to start spending money on some of these other pieces, you can still be using social media.
Absolutely.
And I would definitely recommend starting that.
It's going to be better than not using social media.
Well, I mean, you think about it like if you were the first person to hop on Google ads, like when they first came out.
Oh man,
you think about that,
billionaire,
right? And everybody's like, "Oh, well, is it too late to start YouTube?" And there's all of this deliberation. It's like, well, is it too late to grow an audience on social media?
No.
Well, I'll be honest with
difficult?
you.
Maybe.
The best time literally was yesterday, right? Like, in hindsight's 2020,
right?
But can't go back and redo that,
right? Second best time is now,
right now, absolutely. So the quicker you start,
the better.
The better. So yes,
the good leader.
Start taking advantage of social media. And if you struggle with any of these things, reach out to us. We would love to help. Honestly, we can help concept.
We've got some experience in that field.
Got some experience. We're Enneagram 2s.
Ooh, which means we love to help.
To
a fault.
and
sometimes to a fault.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is funny because this just kind of to round this out.
Yeah.
On the social media front, we have a client who we create content for every month, right?
Yes.
They're a retainer client.
Yes.
They get consistent content, and we come on site. I made a time lapse. And guess what we were doing?
What?
We were just sitting there talking about that month's content ideas. But the time lapse is just of us sitting there talking.
That's some Inception type crap. You were time-lapsing a time-lapse of some concepts of some
social
content.
Media video. Yeah, so
wow, I can't talk today.
But I mean, my point is that's how simple it can be.
We had concepts of a plan. There you go. But there's a time-lapse of it, and eventually it'll hit social media in some facet. But that's how simple it can be. Yeah.
You think of all these, I will watch it for hours. time lapses of people that do woodworking.
Oh yeah.
They'll do the bowls on the lathe
shavings flying
or
everywhere.
whatever. But like I know that dude
stuff.
was there doing that for days.
Oh yeah.
But the video, because it was condensed, it's like, oh my gosh, this was so freaking cool to see all this change and, the process. And I had no idea. And yeah, I mean, it's, there's definitely a viewer for that.
Certainly
a viewer for that.
Speaking of viewers, Jared, there are some things that our viewers and listeners can do that would tremendously help this podcast.
Well, this was a short one, but hopefully it was helpful. Yeah. And if it was, leave us a review. Leave us a rating.
Stars and bars.
All those things. If you know of a business who is maybe not utilizing video, but they would like to, because honestly, video does take time.
It does.
Right? And so that's one of probably the number one barrier that we hear from people. It's like, I don't have time to do social media or video. But these are some tips to where they can start doing it at a pretty low friction rate. Yeah. So send it to them. Let them know they can start using video.
They can, and I want to know how you're using video down in the comments below.
Yeah.
Or what is your concept of a plan to use video in 2025?
That's true.
Would love to know all that, see all that in the comments.
If you're not, I'll say this though, if video in some facet is not part of your strategy for growth and marketing in 2025.
Probably needs to be.
Well, I mean, it's not too late.
Right.
You should start to, but I don't know. Kind of tough these days
without it.
The days are dwindling, in which case you can be effective without
minus your massive outliers. But yes, it's certainly needed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Needed. On that note, Jared, here's the hard part.
Yeah, well, we will. We'll see you guys later.
He didn't make that very hard.
There we go.